Everyone, this is Nikachu, and I am here to play round 5 of the Legacy Challenge. We're really deep in the hole here. We're like 1 in 3, 1 win, 3 losses. So I am going to pay extra close attention so I can get my entry feedback because my tiebreakers are garbage at this moment. We're going to thank our sponsor, themanabase.com. If you want to check out the latest what should be banned, what should not be banned articles, go check out Delving with Devin on themanabase.com. We're on the play, and we have a fine hand, and I'm going to keep it. But unfortunately, I'm never really thrilled about hands like this because they're always just like, lands and creatures can lose against so many different decks. Like if we're up against Sneak and Show, they'll just crush us. This hand cannot compete with a Sneak and Show deck. It's always underwhelming. I actually seriously think that the Lords are terrible in Legacy. I should replace 2 of the Lords, probably 2 Lord of Atlantis for 2 more Smuggler's Copters. True Name I can get behind. Master of the Pearl Trident and Lord of Atlantis, I can't really get behind these cards. They're not so good. Okay, so we're up against another Storm deck. Fortunately, they're going to play Cabal Therapy. They're going to whiff, naming Force of Will or Chalice of the Void. Wow, names Lord of Atlantis and hits. That's annoying. That's annoying. That's seriously annoying. So it's going to hurt our clock a little bit. I have no idea why they did that. So I guess the line is play Smuggler's Copter. They're working with perfect information, which is not really good because they could just go off right now. There's nothing against them just going off right now. Let's see if we can get back in this game. Chalice of the Void is very good. Let's start with. Oh, we have to violin the Master of the Pearl Trident. Oh, by the way, we could be up against Delver. Like I'm not entirely sure that we are up against. No, do you know what? This is all wrong. Okay, I'm going to play Chalice on 1, just in case we're up against some sort of Delver deck. We can minimize the damage that Fatal Push would do. But I should have done this beforehand. So I just blindly presumed that we were up against, what's it called? A Storm deck, and now we might lose everything now. Yeah. Oh, wow. That was bad. That was just terrible. We just got crushed there. I feel so bad now. That could have been 2 dead cards in their hand. But it could also be it could be Grixis Control, which in that case we are going to lose this Chalice of the Void anyway. Yeah, probably it is Grixis Control. We're going to tick up Vial to 3, because it's the only way we can play True Name Nemesis at the moment. And we get to keep our True Name. Although the Vial has turned to garbage. Alright, so much for playing extra carefully. I was just so convinced that we were up against Storm. I didn't think of the alternatives the alternative decks that play Cabal Therapy. If we're lucky, maybe we can just run away with the game with True Name Nemesis. So 2 True Names in play represent like a pseudo 2-turn clock, because if we can get our opponent down to 1, then it shuts off the fetch lands, which would be great. Okay, now it's probably a little less likely that the fetch lands are shut off. Drawing Force Will is great, because now we can fight over... we can fight over... Actually, we don't even need to fight over Toxic Deluge. Our opponent can't even play Toxic Deluge for 1. So I don't really see what outs our opponent has... what outs our opponent have at this point. Alright, so we win against Grixis control. Unless this is a weird Delver deck that, you know, we got to see some really wrong stuff. I'll bring in all the Echoing Truths, still have Dismembers, and we'll take out all the Chalice of the Voids, even though they looked pretty good that game. Bring in all... I'm going to bring in all the counterspells. Let's try to bring in all the counterspells. Take out 1 Vial, take out 2 Curse Catchers. We'll just submit this. We'll be very counter heavy. We'll be very counter your Kolaghan's Command, counter your Toxic Deluge plan. It's an awful matchup, but you know, we're going to do our best. Just terrible. My brother is on his way to an animal shelter. He likes taking care of the bunnies. If you want to know a little bit more about my brother. He feeds them rabbit treats. He pets the gerbils and the hamsters and whatever the hell else they have over there. This hand's keepable. I most definitely don't want a mulligan against this deck that plays like Hymn to Turok and stuff like that. Gitaxian Probe, the best card we are not playing. Or what are you up to? What do you want to do? You want a Cabal Therapy to take my Aether Vial? Alright, they ponder. Now, Grixis Control doesn't play Wasteland as far as I'm concerned, so we'll start off with the Mutavault, and if they Cabal Therapy away our Silvergill Adept for whatever reason, we can at least attack with the Mutavault next turn. If our opponent does play Wasteland, then we might be up against a Delver deck that we couldn't see last game. Hopefully, because we're in the super loser bracket, our opponent will not be skilled enough, maybe, to carry out the victory with Grixis Control. Because this is a pretty it's really bad matchup. It's really bad. And I'm pretty willing to just jam a Silvergill Adept onto the board for turn 2. Yeah, because I don't believe they play with Daze. They play with Force of Will, but not Daze. Actually, maybe we just play Phantasmal Image, and then we can copy the Baleful Strix. It also helps us draw into an island, which can help cast this True Name Nemesis. And there we go. And that's why I keep the Phantasmal Images against them, because, you know, copying Baleful Strix is not so bad. Like, we're ahead on life total, and once we start attacking, I mean, either they're going to block with the Baleful Strix or they're not. If they don't block with the Baleful Strix, we get in for damage. If they block, then, well, then they clear the road for our creatures. And like, if they Kolaghan's Command this, like, it's no big deal. Although Kolaghan's commanding this and this. It's annoying, but whatever, we'll live with it. Who knows how the last game could have went if I just played the Chalice of the Void first. Young Pyromancer, okay. Actually gives us some reason to keep this Baleful Strix back. Now, do I even play the True Name here? I could just vial them in at end of turn. What would John Kasari do? What would John Kasari do? Vial is just so much better on 2. Smuggler's Copter, not a lot of value here because of Baleful Strix. So many ways for True Name to die. I guess I'm just gonna. I don't like playing slowly because that's not really how I'm winning a lot of games. But I'll play a little bit. I'll play a little bit slow here, and we'll bring the vial up to 3, and then put True Names in play at the end of each turn. No bolt, no fatal push. Pithing Needle. That is interesting. So in response to Pithing Needle, I'm definitely going to activate the vial. Put a Silvergill Adapt in play, draw a card. It will be Flusterstorm. Okay. Pithing Needle resolves. Are you going to hit the Smuggler's Copter, or... I could also probably try to activate the Smuggler's Copter. But they're going to name Aether Vial anyway. We drew a blue source. That's fantastic. That allows us to cast our True Name Nemesis and protect it with Force of Will. Flusterstorm can will have 2 extra copies. And we will Flusterstorm this thing. I'm not even going to touch Flusterstorm now. This is such an annoying card. It's just terrible. It most certainly could have been designed better online. Another Pyroblast, so we... it's a 2 for 2, I guess. We have another True Name Nemesis coming up next turn. Do I attack with anything? I guess not. I'm just going to keep everything on defense. If I attack with Strix, they might attack with, like, Baleful Strix and some Elementals. Is that so bad? Say you blow up Silvergill Adept. Who cares? Okay, let's attack with Strix. You attack with anything, I'll just try to block it with Silvergill Adept. And if you ever attack with the Strix, then, like, who cares? It's in my favor. Because now the sky is... I own the sky. Smuggler's Copter is just going to fly right over. Another young Pyromancer. This is definitely those situations that could get completely out of control. We do have Echoing Truth in the deck. We do have those. Still assuming this is like Grixis control, or it could be like 4-color check pile. Okay, Gurmag Angler, sure. Not thrilled to see that guy, but whatever. I'm going to be really thrilled to see that attack, though, because we're going to block with Smuggler's Copter, we're going to loot, and hopefully draw into some goodies. Honestly, Island Walk has never looked so good right now. But I can't deploy a whole lot of creatures at once. I could attack for 6 right now, and then I could attack for... I don't think I'm attacking for enough. Okay, attacks for 6 right now, and I could actually attack for the win the following turn if my opponent has nothing. It really feels like my opponent has no counter spells. Nothing. Or sorry, not counter. No removal spells. Nothing, because they would have probably played it on the Baleful Strix already. But I'm not sure. Master the Pearl Trident. Attack for 6. You go to 8. You can't kill me, that's for sure. Let's say you kill one of them. Let's say you kill my Master of the Pearl Trident. It's not pleasant. It's not pleasant at all. Alright. This is how it's going to be. Play it a little slow and cautiously. True name, unfortunately, is pretty tied to the Gurmag Angler. One takes 3. What am I attacking for next turn? I'm attacking for 10, if I can draw land. Sorry, not 10. I'm attacking for the win, if I can draw land next turn. What the hell is this? Oh, another Gurmag Angler. Okay, that's fine. So if we draw land next turn, we win. Of course, we do not. Just try to get in with some stuff here. Force our opponent to attack with a ton of things next turn. This looks like enough to win the match. We can like block Gurmag Angler. I mean, even if Baleful Strix dies, we can block Gurmag Angler with like just True Name Nemesis, take less than 20, and then win. That's what happens when you don't have removal. You got Pithing Needle and all this other garbage. Yeah, you better attack with everything. You don't have a choice. Truth be told, what's it called would be pretty good here. Toxic Deluge for 2. That would be a beating. I would still have Smuggler's Copter and like some Mutavaults out, but still, it would be pretty bad. No, our opponent realized, this is hopeless. No, this is gonna get there. All right, so we won. So yeah, that was our match against. I don't know if this was check pile or Grixis control, but you know, it's all those sort of spells. Fortunately, our opponent didn't draw any like edict effects or I don't know sweepers. Then you know, like how we saw the Grixis control deck earlier in this series, it just completely mauled us. Yeah, let's go look into the Pocket Player's Guide of Magic the Gathering. And more books from 1994. What is this? Equipment. I don't think there was equipment back in 1994. Let's see what equipment meant in 1994. You and your opponent will each need a deck of magic cards and some way of keeping score. The most common method is pencil and paper, still is today. Some people use 20-sided dice, turning them so that the score is face up. Others use counters or just keep score in their heads. Holy crap, that is very unreliable. If you're going to use counters or dice, keep in mind that many cards may end up giving you more life points than you started with. You'll also need a reasonably large, flat area on which to lay out the cards during play. That's the equipment you need. You need cards, you need a flat area, you need a way of keeping score. And there you have it. So we're going to thank our patrons supporting me on Patreon, and we're going to thank our sponsor, themanabase.com. This has been Nikachu, trying to survive the Legacy Challenge.